KTWU and the Topeka Shawnee County Public Library got together for our own version of Finding Your Roots. It's called Identity Quest, and our Inspire host, Danielle Norwood, got some great information. Let's go.
Oh yeah, I got some great information. It was the most eye-opening experience. First of all, I had done some of that on my own and had only gotten back as far as 3 generations. So I'm like, I don't know how far you all can get back. I only got back to 3. And then to go far back as 7 generations, I'm like, wow, where do you all get this information? And then to have the host tell me that my people were enslaved by Choctaw Indians, the look of shock on my face during the first 5 minutes is like, okay, roll that back. Wait, what? You know, and so there's so much that I did not know. And so much, I mean, it's added some layers to my life that I didn't even think that it could after the show. And I haven't even gotten through all the sheets, because there was like 300 and some sheets of paper afterwards.
That's awesome.
It is awesome because, again, each one of these people have a story. Not just had a story, they have a story. And you're talking about the heroes and the sheroes. So talk about how people are affected when they learn their genealogy and what that does to their life.
Okay, so let me tell you a story about me. I like to tell stories, and I have lots of them, because I've been doing genealogy for over 30 years. I just kind of leave it there.
Yeah.
When I got started, my great-grandmother was living, and so I was able to interview her. She was tight-lipped, and rightfully so. There's a lot of trauma in the generations that lead up to my grandmother. However, I was able to get enough information from her to get me started, because when you get back to the 4th generation, there's more research and more paper trail that you can find. And so as I was doing research on her, I found her great-grandmother, and that was the 1870 census, which is that place you want to get all your research back to. But I couldn't get any further back. So I was poring over my records and found that in the 1885 census, my 4th great-grandmother's husband was in the Civil War. And I had found his record, got his records from the National Archives, and within those records I found a sister, and from her sister I found the next generation back.
Wow.
And so the whole point of the story is that she was taken off to California during the gold rush. And because of that, I was able to find her, because California was a free state, and they were living in an adobe house that stands to this day.
Oh my goodness. Have you visited it?
I have.
Wow.
I have.
Good.
And so the point is that these wonderful stories kind of uplift your spirit and uplift your history. It's like most of us feel like we don't have a history.
Absolutely.
Until we find it.
Right.
And then once we find it, it changes the trajectory of our life. It's like, I am somebody, I come from people who were important, that did something important, or at least people that were, had dignity. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's something that's not, you don't know until you look.
And to find out that one of the slave masters of my father's side was actually teaching the slaves how to read and write. They were very educated. He wanted them to be very communicative. And it's like, well, okay, well, thank you for being the nice slave master. But then you balance on the other side. It's like, well, you're a slave master. So I don't know that I could thank you too much, but thank you for what it is that you did teach the slaves. And, you know, the Norwood side is very educated, and it went on down to the other generations, and to find out that the Norwood name came from the slave master.
Yes.
I did not know that James Madison Norwood was the slave master's son name, and now you have 4 generations of James Madison Norwoods in my family, all based upon the slave master's name.